Welcome. So I've been thinking about people not quite understanding how a actual main storage is kind of structured and thinking, oh, hey, I should build this thing, which is an absolutely terrible idea. So I kind of wanted to go through Krebs's main storage in kind of like a loose structure. I'm not really gonna go into the nitty gritty, for example, like what controls the chunk loaders being turned on, because I didn't make the storage, and the lines aren't the most traceable always. Um, it kind of, fuck, yeah, they kind of disappear into an ether sometimes. So I'm not gonna spend like an hour or so looking at the individual lines, but I just kind of want to give a round out, roundabout kind of, here's the structure of it. So I guess we'll start at the input itself. I will be drinking water throughout this video because my throat is dry as fuck. So input is exactly what it sounds like. You input items into it. Um, Generally, there will be a bulk and a mixed items input. I don't think that's present in this particular input that Krebs has put together. And I think it will just do mixed boxes that being unloaded, but somebody will correct me about that. But I think I'm right about that based off the water streams. Yeah, not seen any other water streams. So this should go to the set based on loader, which it does right there. Yeah. Um, so the reason there's a bulk and a mixed box input is for bulk sorting. So right here, if we look at the bulk slices, we have box sorters, which unlocks the ability to sort at 1728x hopper speed. So having that is a massive speed increase to your storage if you have any sort of farm, which you're likely to have in a tech server. There might be a bulk input somewhere else in this place, but I don't know. I'm not going to look for it. But the mixed boxes should always be going to the set based on loader. Now it looks like we have some buffer and some global locking, which is pretty common. And from the buffer, I would say you should also have a line to turn on the chunk loading, because you don't want the chunk loaders to not run or to not be chunk loading when the most complex part of the storage system is working. So imagine you input items and then you just leave as this thing is booting up. When you come back, you're going to notice that, oh, hey, my set based on loader is broken. That's because the chunk loaders weren't working. This is if you play on a server. If you play on single player, you're fucked either way. And honestly, I just advise, for the most part, not playing on a single player world if you're wanting to do tech, but that's up to you. Anyways, so the set based on loader has two outputs, as far as I remember. It has 64 and 16 stackable outputs, and it has 16 unstackable, or sorry, unstackable output. Unstackable output will normally go straight to Leo's unstackable sorter right there. And then the rest of the items will funnel through. They will funnel through the system through the either starting at the chest hole or starting with the box loaders. Because kind of what you're doing is, oh, that's the wrong item stream actually. What you're usually doing is you're routing the items through this chest hole, and then you're routing them through box loaders. Then the box loaders, usually they are positioned under the bulk, but that's not the case here. Let's try and find the box loaders. Actually, are they? Oh, that's a box order. Oh, they're on top. Yeah. So first the items will go through the chest hole, and then they'll go into the box loaders. And then the loaded boxes will go into the box sorter. Now, this doesn't make sense to do in a system where you don't have a bulk input. The more ideal choice there would be to just slap the box loader straight on the bulk, simply because it's just the awkward middle piece. But that's only if you don't have bulk input, which I highly recommend having. But yeah, so the items would route through here and then go back into the chest hall. Now, most storages will also have MIS, and it's almost becoming essential to a ridiculous degree with how many items we're getting into the game. So how you implement this is kind of up to you as the designer. What you might, a naive approach would be to just shove everything with no thought into the MIS. Another alternative might be to box load everything and then slowly, methodically unload it into the MIS. Another approach might be to have a bunch of chest buffer and then lock the set-based unloader when the chest buffer gets full. Another approach might be to use dolphins or minecarts to reset the item lifetime and just assume that the set-based unloader isn't going to run forever, and especially that it's not going to unload MIS items forever. Obviously, the approach you pick is up to your personal preference. And I'd say the last approach kind of assumes that you don't have a massive amount of MIS. I mean, the set-based unloader will stop running eventually, even if you're just just setting the main storage up fully and you're unloading everything you've gathered, right? But it's just food for thought, and you might want to think about how you implement that. In Krebs's case, let's try and figure out what he did. Where's the input chest? That looks like an input chest. Uh-huh. That goes... Wait. What's that chest doing there if it's... There's no hopper feeding into... Oh, wait. No, that's the MIS chest. Oh, boy. Oh, yeah, there you go. So looks like we just got a bunch of chest buffer. And he's also parallelized the in the inputting of it through to about 2x hopper speed. And so that's how he chose to approach it, which is very fine for considering the size of this MIS. If you're doing a large amount of MIS, I would maybe just look at a different solution. I haven't looked at the validity of this, nor asked Talon or talked to Talon or anything about that, like that. But an idea would be to merge the cart MIS v3 with the set-based unloader, although I am uncertain if that would actually work out. So that would be something you could discover for yourself. Besides that, that's kind of the general structure, and I'm not sure if there's a lot more I had on my mind. Kind of a oh yeah, right. One thing I do want to mention. You should also have a confirm signal from the chunk loaders that all of the chunk loaders are working. You want to make sure that it's actually all of the chunk loaders and not just like one is running and you're good to go. You don't know. Chunk loaders can break. Either SMP players break them or something unexpected happens. So you do want to be sure that all of them are actively loading what they're supposed to be loading. But other than that, I think that's about all I had in my mind. So I think I'll be wrapping up the video. That was just a short ramble. Have a good one.